What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about Bitcoin. Looking at the price right now, we're having a bit of a whiplashy 24-hour period, aren't we? Before I compare it to a previous kind of area that we've experienced before, I want to just keep it relevant to this. I'll explain. Just give me a second though. So right now we had this move out of this area of accumulation. We moved up, had a nice breakout, very strong move up. Volume was increasing, everything was right, man. And then we started to consolidate, but tilted toward the upside, and volume was decreasing as we were moving higher. That's not a good combination, right? Yesterday, and soon to be 2 days ago, because we have 53 minutes left in this day, we had a bullish engulfing candle, and now we are seeing negative repercussions of that because we had less volume, we had a slightly lower high, and it was, I would consider this to be like a fake out. It almost looks like you're breaking out, gets people excited, but this is clearly a fake out. You had the moves, the exact kind of personality of a fake out. I want to go back to something that we experienced back in July here. We got this daily pulled up. We had a strong move up. Volume was increasing out of our kind of area that we were accumulating, right? Volume's rising. And then as we're moving up and as we're moving higher, volume is dying off. We had this final day that was a higher daily close right here. And it was a bit of a fake out, wasn't it? I remember everybody on this day was like, it's happening. We're going right now to 40K, 50K. People were calling for it back then. We were so far away from the halving, but people were calling for prices that are like damn near the all-time high. It just didn't make sense to me. I was like, something I literally word for word said, and you can go back to the day that I made this video. At the top, I was like, something's fishy here, guys. I think we're about to shit the bed. And we did. We literally, we didn't shit the bed so hard, it didn't happen immediately, but over time, we went from about 32K all the way down to 25K. Just a little bit below there, right? Let me see. A little bit below 25K, yeah. But very similar circumstances, right? Very similar. And the consolidation here wasn't tilted upwards, but whatever, it feels familiar. And if we look at this, the last time we saw this drop from top to bottom, we saw a 22% drop. If you've been watching the channel, then you know that I have this call for November where I'm expecting from the high point of November to the low point of this drop, I'm expecting a 26% or more drop for Bitcoin, just based on what we've seen historically. So in the month of November is when I expect this to happen. I expect us to see this, right? It could go lower going into December. It doesn't have to be at the very end of November. Maybe it goes down, and then by the end of November, where we have a very bullish bounce or something like that. The month doesn't have to close red, though I would think, being that we have two weeks left in November as of right now, I would think that we are going to see a red close, a bearish close. But 21%, 22% essentially from July 13th all the way down to September 11th. June, July, August, September, that's about 2 months, right? I'm calling for a move that's going to be bigger than this in about 2 weeks' time. And I can be wrong. I'm not like totally, if I had to bet money on it, and I'm a betting man, if I had to bet money on it, I wouldn't even bet money that that's going to happen. I'm just making that call based off of what we've seen previously in nearly every November for Bitcoin, and specifically literally every November that was the pre-halving November, which this one is right now. And that's not a whole lot to go off of. This is the fourth halving. We're about to experience our fourth halving in April, probably April, right? But for the three halvings that have happened before, this is what we've seen. We've seen post or pre-halving Novembers have been pretty bad. They've been pretty bad. And a 26% drop would actually be nice for a November that's before the halving. But if you want to go back and you want to watch this Bitcoin November analysis video, I made this on October 31st, but I made it after the day closed there. So technically on the first day of November that we opened up here, it would have been on this candle here. I was calling for then, and I am still calling for now, a 26% or more drop. And if you want to know more as to why, more than just kind of like the summary I've given, watch that video. It's definitely, I think, worth watching. I just compare every November in Bitcoin's history, and we measure the drops and everything, go through it, But all that to say, the minimum drop that I would expect would be a 26% or more drop. The only months that we saw Bitcoin not drop that much, there were four Novembers that it did not drop that much, and those were all in the bull market. They were all post-halving Novembers, right? They were all literally the November after the halving. If not, there was one time where it was toward the end of the bull market. So different circumstances. We're not at post-halving November right now. We are not at the end of the bull market. We're at the very beginning. So we don't meet really the criteria for a bullish November or a less dramatically bearish November. Could we drop less than 26%? Sure. But I do think that we're going to see some kind of major retracement from where we are now. From low to high here, that low's at 24.9. You know, the minimum expectation would be this 382, in my opinion, the minimum expectation. Bitcoin loves its 618, 69 area, so that should put, you know, 29K on the radar and potentially even 28.4K, somewhere around there. And the thing is those are all like really common areas for Bitcoin to retrace, but that's not even a 26% drop. So I'm not holding my breath on that, right? I guess let's see here. I think this would be the actual high. That's a 25% drop. Close enough, you know, give or take a few percentages. But what else do we have down there? Just a little bit further away, we have these daily high closing points right here, this daily high closing point here. These two white lines are down at about 28 to 27.7K. So I really do think that prices below 30K are not just possible, but likely. How much below 30K are we going to go? I don't think that we're going to break 27K, but I do think breaking 28K is completely possible. But somewhere down here at this previous area of resistance, maybe, you know, just a little bit below this purple line will be, I think, where we're going in a very, very short amount of time, you guys. Today is the 16th. It is about to be the 17th. The 17th is the last day for the SEC to approve or push back these ETF proposals, right? And I do think some of them have already gotten pushed back, but I think we're going to get that finalized if it hasn't been finalized already. You know, I don't really keep up too much with that, but obviously they haven't been passed. Obviously they haven't been approved. You know, I'm sure this was like false hope right here that they were getting approved, and now we're seeing like the reality of the situation, which is that we've been consolidating. We've had lower highs in volume or lower spikes in volume. We have bearish divergence. We went up and rejected the overbought zone. And now it's looking like we are going to revert back probably to our oversold zone, and we will see some bit of a major significant, we're going to see somewhat of a major pullback is what I'm trying to say. I can't talk, man. Looking at the 4-hour RSI, doesn't look good. It definitely doesn't look good. You know, we grinded this and then had a somewhat bullish reaction out of it, but we rejected the overbought zone. Where here we actually got into the oversold zone, and we didn't have any problem giving it all back, man. So definitely not a good look. I wonder how this 46-minute period will close. If this 4-hour closes red, we're basically just nosediving down to the oversold zone, and I would think that the next stop, like minimum, would be somewhere around here at like the base of this consolidation. But all in all, I would at least, at a minimum, expect the 382 to come into play from a bottom to a top. Let's see right here. 382 it's just below that area of consolidation. So that's actually where the weekly purple line is. It's right. I'm going to delete this white line here. It's actually right there at that 123 moving average, which we have found significance on it before. We have disrespected it. I guess we were held down by it as resistance here. A little bit of resistance. Once we broke it, we took off. I don't think going back in time we show any significance. It's not necessarily a significant area for Bitcoin per se, but it is a relative area I look to find like support or resistance across a lot of different charts, and that comes in line with that 382. So we could see a more mild drop this month. It is possible, but again, generally speaking, when it comes to November's, is it precede the preceding November, the one that happens before the halving, they're generally not the friendliest months, man. So before I just keep repeating myself, that's all I got for you guys. I think it's going to go lower from here. Could we test this previous area of resistance on a weekly basis right here? Sure. You know, something like that. If we go below that, and everybody's like, I would bet money, man. I would bet a lot of money that everyone's going to be saying things like, if we break this area, it's all over. The bull market's off. And then we break that area, and then it's a higher low, and it's like, no, the bull market's still on, actually. Like, who cares? You know, it's okay. Bitcoin loves to mess with us. If we take this line here, I wonder, let's just see, low to low there, something like that. Yeah, we could literally go below that line and still hold this ascending trend line here and maintain this kind of channel going upwards. So, if we break 30K, it's not all over. It's not all over. It's definitely not all over. If we break, I would say if we break like 27K, then maybe we're in some trouble. Maybe we're in some trouble. But I don't think that we're going to go lower than that. I do think we're ultimately going to form a higher low. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So if you like the video, leave a thumbs up. Bearish divergence, rejection on the overbought zone. 4 hour looks weak. 1 hour is weak also, but really who cares? 1 hour is not really too detrimental at all. But I think we're about to see some fireworks to the downside, guys. If you like the video, thumbs ups are appreciated. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Goodbye.